Hi guys, it's ArchieLuxury on the Pluta channel. Today I'm doing a paid review. This is paid review 21QA126. And this is for Henry. Before we do this paid review, customary wristwatch check. I invented the wristwatch check. I'm wearing the Rolex. This is the Milgauss. This is the Z Blue. Absolutely love this watch. 40 mil, sapphire crystal. It's even got the GV, the green tinge, anti-glare tinge. And I love it. Okay, let's jump straight in. Archie, I enjoy your videos. Keep up the good work. And being one of the few experts who doesn't have a financial interest in the watch companies mentioned. My name is Henry and I'm from New York. I'm writing to you to get a suggestion for my brother-in-law James, who is also from New York. James likes good watches and has good taste in lots of stuff. His watch collection needs updating and he wants to buy a new watch or two. He has 4 watches and he's actually sent me some photos there, Number one is a beautiful Rolex Sea Dweller with date. It's about 10 years old and is in great shape. This is of course, the deep sea, the 44 mil, the monster. This is the monster in the Rolex range. This is the biggest, baddest. It shares that title with the Yachtmaster 2. Very, very cool watch. I can tell you that now. It is extremely cool. Great watch to have there. Now, he number 2 and 3, he has 2 Breitlings. Both are chronographs. One is a diver. So he's got a steel fish, yes sir, a steel fish, and he's also got, a chronomat. Looks like, is it a chronomat? Doesn't say chronomat, but it's, okay, so we've got 2 very ordinary Breitlings. Ordinary might be the right way there. And he's got an Omega Speedmaster that he got in the 90s. As you can see in the photo, it looks like the Man on the Moon, but it has a sapphire crystal. It has just had its service and it looks great. Yeah, it's very similar to I've got one that's I think it's a Mark 4. Mine's a 4.5. Slightly different, but very similar dial layout there. Very similar indeed. Okie dokie. So, okay. So he's got the Rolex Deep Sea Dweller. He's got 2 Breitlings, one a diver and one just a chronograph, and he's also got the Omega. He wants to add 1 or 2 watches. He's looked at the blank pane 50 fathoms, but concluded that it looked too much like his other watches, and he didn't want another diver. I was wearing a Zenith El Primero open face in blue with a strap, and he said, I want something like that. I said, what do you like about it? He said, it's not a dive type watch and can be a bit dressy, but also casual. He said he'd spend up to $10,000 each for the 2 watches, so a Patek won't work. He asked me about the Zenith and I told him about the history, and he seemed interested but wanted other suggestions. He liked the look of the blank pane, lunar moon phase, and some JLCs. He also likes Grand Seikos. 2 other facts: he has a big wrist and doesn't think a JLC reverso would work. Also, he's an eccentric guy. He would try something a little different. He doesn't wear a suit too often, so the watches don't have to be too formal. They just need to be different from the watches he has. Here are she sent me the watches there, okie dokie. So, okay, I want to give you a bit of honest opinion here, because there's no point me sugarcoating it or being fluffy. Fluffy. Let's be completely honest here, okay? I'm gonna speak to you with total honesty so that we can make some good suggestions. Firstly, the Rolex Deep Sea, fantastic watch. Beautiful. It's a Rolex, big chunky monkey, beautiful. The next watch he's got 2 Breitlings. Bop. These are nothing special. These are ETA Valjoux 7750, very noisy rotor when you shake them. They are a letdown. They're a letdown, okay? They're really nothing special. They're not worth a lot. They're just... I mean, I like Breitling, but how do I put it without being rude? They're nothing special. They're vanilla. Generic store vanilla. Okay? It's not really quality. They're okay, but they're not great. As for the Omega, totally honest with you, it's the Speedmaster Man on the Moon they want. This one here is a bit on the fugly side. Okay, it's fugly. Not really that collectible, not that great. I'm just being totally honest with you. So he's got the Rolex, which is bang, and the Breitlings, and the Omega. So 1 out of 4 ain't great, is it? Hey? So my advice, what would I say to him? Okay. So my advice to him, I got to be totally honest with you. He's got a good budget, $10,000. I would say if he wants to protect his investment, I would try and buy iconic pieces. What do I mean by that? Okay, let's be totally honest here, okay? What would I do? So basically what I'm trying to say is he's got 1 winner and 3 kind of, how do I put it politely? 3 dogs. 3 dogs and 1 winner, okay? If you're picking stocks, you'd be losing money still, okay? So it's not great, okay? It's not great. My advice to him, what's my advice? I got to be totally honest. Stick with Rolex. Stick with Rolex. Stick with Rolex. I would say, as far as he goes, stay away from Zenith. That is, now the thing is too, you're in New York. Let me be totally honest with you. Most watch dealers in New York are fucking assholes. They are assholes. New York watch dealers, my God, that would have to be the meanest, nastiest watch dealers on planet Earth. They are vicious. It's like the Diamond District. You go there and they're all upset. Blue Nile killed us. Well, you know what? I'd like to say this to any jewelers in the Diamond District. You deserve it. You deserve it. You were smart-ass shits. You're overpriced. And I'm actually happy you sons of bitches are out of business. Now, as far as watches go, I would jump online to David SW. Yes, he sponsors my show. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. But he sells good product. I'd jump on there. What would I buy? You know what I would buy if I was him? He likes a big watch. I would be getting a Rolex Explorer 2. That's what I reckon. That's the sweet spot. The 42 mil. That's what I'd get because it's a big baby. How much? How much, you say? Well, those there, I got to tell you, you get a Explorer 2. They've gone up a bit. They have gone up a bit there, but $12,000 mark starting point for a 42 mil. Okay, jump on David SW, go and have a look. That is exactly what I'd get. I'd get the Explorer because he's got 3 dogs. Ow, ow, ow! 3 dogs. 3 dogs, 1 winner. Okay? So I would say don't buy any more dogs. Stay away from Zenith. The The luck of your brother's luck is toxic, okay? Okay, he's toxic. If I was a gambler, I'd pay for him to stay outside because as soon as he walks in the door, bad shit happens, okay? In the casino of life, he ain't doing too good, okay? 1 winner, 3 dogs, okay? Let's just be totally honest there. 1 winner, 3 dogs. My advice would be get an Explorer 2. And as far as a, what's this, 3rd watch to get, you know what I would get? Depends on his money. I would say to him, you know, why don't you get a simple wind and wear Rolex, like a Milgauss that gives you, he'd have the deep sea as his diver, he'd have Explorer 2 as his GMT, and a wind and wear in a Milgauss. Get a Milgauss, an Air King, 40 mil Air King, or an Explorer 1. Explorer 1's unfortunately the 39 mils, they've gone through the roof. They were discontinued. It's kind of sad what happened there. They exploded beyond belief. But yeah, I reckon that it's still got substance. If he really wants another brand, I would be looking at ArchieLuxury. Now he says, he doesn't think he'd get one that works. Get the grand size. Grand sale, grand size. You can get a grand size reverso, very good money. That's exactly where I would be heading. Just looking at David SW at the moment, he's got a Polaris chronograph, which is actually a column wheel vertical clutch, 8,275. That's actually a beautiful, I'd go JLC. You want a fancy wancy. Now, you buy that JLC, it's not going to go up like Rolex. It's a bit of a dog financially, but it is actually a beautiful watch. So there you go. That's my 2 choices. I would say number 1, make sure he gets an Explorer 2 as a third option. As his second watch, I would say no date, Steel Sports Rolex. But he's eccentric. Okay, so get a ArchieLuxury. I'd go for a grand reverso, but if he wants something a little bit eccentric, Polaris chronograph I've owned one, absolute beauty. You're not going to get the kudos or the credit, but I tell you what, it's going to be horological excellence. So that is my advice. His choices are stinkers. 1 out of 4 ain't great. Okay, it's not a passing grade, is it? 25%, that's not good. I'm sorry to have told you this. I am so sorry. I had to tell you 3 of his watches are dogs. But that's what you paid me the money for. You paid me the money to be truthful and honest. Truthful and honest. So I'm sorry. I've had to tell you that your brother picks losers. He picks losers. I'm sorry. I am sorry, but you paid the money. I got to tell you honestly what I think. They're dogs, okay? They are dogs. Ow, ow, ow. They're dogs, okay? They are dogs. They're dogs, okay? Absolute dogs. Dogs. So my advice to you is that I've given you the advice. I told you, get 2 more Rolexes. That'll dilute the toxins, okay? We might get a passing grade eventually. That's the advice. That's the hard, honest truth. Check out David SW. I wouldn't buy from any New York dealers. They're all a mob of shits, okay? New York dealers I'm just telling you, go to David SW. That's where I would go. And I'm not saying that just because he sponsors me. Yes, he sponsors me. But he does good damn deals. Mention my name, see what he can do for you. And tell him you were stupid enough to buy 2 Breitlings and he'll knock a bit off in sorrow for you. Okay, that's the review. Guys, like, subscribe, tell your friends. Put some comments below, good, bad, the ugly. Don't forget, guys, I can't survive on Google Ads. I need more paid reviews to stay on YouTube. Please get a paid review done. $50 for a paid review. And I will tell you the honest truth. Don't forget, guys, you can also sponsor me on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. And I will stay making videos. Okay, guys, I will see you in the next one. See you later, guys. Love you all. Hi, guys. ArchieLuxury. And who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW. Like, subscribe, and tell your friends, and don't be afraid to get a paid review. $50 for a paid review. It helps me stay full-time on YouTube, and I will see you in the next one. $50 paid review. I can't survive on Google Ads. I need your support. And guys, you could also sponsor me on Patreon. Patreon allows you to pay as little as $1 a month to keep me on YouTube. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co. Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie, I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co. That is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the Pontiff goes. You know, some of my Pateks came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys. Vintage Watch Co.